compilations. We didn't include the
Yeah, we're
Linkin
not gonna
Park,
one of
the
the things that I
Carters.
think is interesting, what we're gonna get out of this discussion, I'm interested in us ranking the producers for Jay. Like we're gonna rank Jay-Z's top 10 producers based on the work that they've done for him. And I think that's going to be really interesting. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, Drake doesn't have a clear classic and has used ghostwriters, yet some call him the GOAT. Maul just said that he's number 2, only behind Jay. Jim Jones said he's number 1. I think that those things are overrating, yes. But I also believe that this era, they picked their top 5 and ranked their MCs based on a different barometer. And I think that Drake is a big part of why they utilize a different barometer. I mean, we came up on some like, look, you were the greatest based on your skill set first, then your album making ability, and then the songs that you had. Now, I don't think that, you know what I'm saying, your rap skills is something that people are going to put first, second, or even third. It's going to be your output. And then your consistency. And that's the other thing that Drake does in this era better than his contemporaries. He's always outside. Always.
Always outside. His shows is crazy. You know, I haven't been to a Drake show. That's out of my demo. My daughter's in Spain right now. She's been to a couple of Drake shows, but that's out of my demographic. But I seen the footage. Look like people be passing out. It look like some Michael Jackson stuff, Mike. It do.
Not the Michael Jackson comparison.
It do look like some Michael Jackson stuff. Let's be for real.
How many albums does Jay-Z have? 14 now?
He has 13, Mike. 13. And I know you try to gloss over what I said. You seen that Drake concert footage, man. It looks kind of Michael Jackson-ish. I ain't saying it's Michael Jackson. I'm saying it looks. I ain't seen nobody pass out on those shows. I ain't seen nobody pass out on those shows since Michael Jackson. That's just me.
Mad Max with the super chat says, we can't be using Maul and Jim Jones. They bought and paid for. Drake has clear classics. Take Care is a modern day R&B classic. I know you're reading it. If you're reading this, it's too late. And NWTS are hip hop classics. Nothing was the same. That is like Drake ain't Cole. Drake does have classics. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like,
he got a lot of classics. He got a lot of classics.
They're not classics to me, but you know, again, I'm not the authority on what's classic and what's not because of what my ears are. But yeah, if you're reading this, it's too late. It's hard. I remember when I heard that straight up, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. And I'm not even a Drake fan like that. So, okay. How are we going to do this? Are we going to start with
let's
first album?
No, let's go. Let's talk about the albums one by one. Let's go for Reasonable Doubt. Let's talk about what was going on in the time, 1996. Reasonable Doubt drop. What the best songs on the album were. Let's just break it down.
All right. Well, in speaking of Reasonable Doubt, I'm going to actually address the elephant in the room and the fact that, you know, Reasonable Doubt wasn't as highly regarded the year that it came out as it is now. I think it was one of those albums that was about planting the seed, and it was really ambitious of an MC to even come with the vantage point that he came with on that album. Now, granted, you heard Mafioso talk before, you know, it was written, Only Built for Cuban Links. Only Built for Cuban Links, in my personal opinion, is the blueprint for those things. But the standpoint that Jay took it on Reasonable Doubt and his lyrical display on that album and the way it was put together and the way that he was no nonsense about it, it didn't do what later Jay efforts did, right? Where Jay efforts always had those moments where you felt like Jay was trying to make a hit. The only song on there like that is Ain't No Nigga, and it was a hit. So it kind of serves its purpose, right? That's the only album where I felt like Jay wasn't chasing the cool sound of the time. He wasn't trying to dumb down his flow on any level. He was just giving it to you straight up. He was letting you know who I am. This is the lyricist that I am. And I feel like ever since Reasonable Doubt, Jay has kind of just given you pieces and specks of that guy that was on Reasonable Doubt on other efforts. I think it's his best album by far. And I think he said the same thing. The Evils is an incredible moment, not only on the album, but in his career. So, but to speak to the fact that it didn't have that level of success in 96, or adoration in 96 that it had moving forward, it just shows you how great an album like that is when he finally did break as an artist and as a superstar in this game. People went back to that effort, and everything that he said on that album, he did it. Even before everything was even in full swing like that. Everything this man said on that album he was gonna do, he did it. And to me, that sets that album apart from everything else. That's very tough for him to beat. I mean, I don't think there's any way you can beat an album like that in the way that it was set up. So Reasonable Doubt's number one for me.
Number one. The first record I got introduced to on Reasonable Doubt, I think it was a Tony Touch mixtape, or maybe it was a Clue mixtape that my uncle gave me. Was it had Brooklyn's Finest on there. So that's the first song I heard. You know what I mean? I think it was Tony Touch or DJ Clue. But my favorite song on the album is The Evils. But it's an interesting album because, you know, it had Preem on it. They Ski did like 4 or 5 joints on it.
Shout out to Ski.
And I think Primo did like 4 joints on it, right? 3 or 4 joints on it, right? So it was
Preem
good.
Did Bring It On. He did The Evils. He did Friend or Foe. Am I missing anything, people? I think there's might have been 3.
3. And Clark Kent did like 4 joints. Clark Kent did
because Ski did Politics as Usual. He did 22 Twos. He did Feeling It and
Dead Presidents. And then Clark Kent did he did Brooklyn's Finest. What else he do?
He didn't do
he did Cashmere Thoughts. He did Cashmere Thoughts. Okay. What else did Clark? He did like 4 joints on there. What else did he do?
I'm about to pull it up. I don't want to skip anybody of their credit.
No, he did a joint. He did a joint with Memphis Bleak.
Yeah, Coming of Age. I think it's probably the weakest song on the album, in my personal opinion. So, okay. You got Nobody, Sean and Kane. They did Can't Knock the Hustle. Ski did Politics as Usual. Clark Kent did Brooklyn's Finest. Ski did Dead Presidents. Ski did Feeling It. Premier did The Evils. Ski did 22 Twos. Irv Gotti did Can I Live. That's a big moment on that album. Big Jazz did Ain't No Nigga. Friend or Foe, DJ Premier. Clark Kent did, like you said, Coming of Age. Clark Kent did Cashmere Thoughts. DJ Premier did Bring It On. And Peter Panic did Regrets.
Classic. I think it's a
super test. Go ahead.
It's classic. I mean, I'm not going to give away what I want to say is the best, but it's a classic.
Oh, I think it's his best album. Matt Max of the Super Chat says Blueprint is Hove's greatest album that actually changed the sonics of hip hop. Reasonable Doubt did something unique, but it didn't catch on, but it's a masterpiece.
Now, Matt Max, you kind of beat me to the conversation. I was going to make an argument that Blueprint is Jay's best album, but there's a couple missteps.
I mean, from a production standpoint, this is what I'll say. I think that the Blueprint is Jay-Z's best produced album, and it still has its flaws in that department. But lyrically, Jay is nowhere near on the Blueprint where he is on Reasonable Doubt. Now, his best song-making performance is on the Blueprint. And he was able to find his pocket where he didn't have to rap crazy, but he could hit you with phrases and things here and there, and he could simplify his flow, and the songs just flow. Like, I think that the Blueprint is way more palatable than Reasonable Doubt. I'll give it that. And if people want to give that points over Reasonable Doubt, I can understand that, because I feel like you had to kind of be of the era to understand Reasonable Doubt in that way. Even the way he's flowing, even the lyricism or the word choices that he's using might not be palatable to a generation that knows him after a certain era. Like Reasonable Doubt sounds like 94, 95, really. It doesn't even sound like 96 because they're somewhat independent, had a priority situation, but it took them longer to craft and put things out because they didn't have that major support. So a lot of the stuff they were making, they probably did make in 94, 95. Coming of Age sounds like it was made in 1994 and came out in 96. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to be of that era to really appreciate Reasonable Doubt on that level. But I will say that The Blueprint probably is that Jay-Z album that everyone can appreciate more.
I like The Evils, man. I forgot to say my favorite song on the album is The Evils, man. That's the first time I got in trouble reciting lyrics. I was around my grandma and I was like, 9 to 5 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it alive. She said, "What'd you say, boy?" Because I was like, he ain't say he want no job. He said, "You don't want no job?" I was like, "Nah, that's what I'm saying." But I ain't know what I was saying. I was like, what, 13 years old? You know what I mean? It's crazy. That's the first time I got in trouble. That's the first time I got in trouble reciting some rap lyrics.
My favorite Jay-Z song to this day, 1 and 2, man. It goes back and forth between You Don't Know and Dead Presidents. But I have a personal love for Dead Presidents and Dead Presidents 2 specifically. I like both of them, but 2 specifically. And that's probably going to be my favorite song on the album. But if I'm being objective, The Evils is probably the best song on the album.
And that was a personal record too. I know Super Duper, we're going to get Super Duper on, if not today, on the next show. He said Jay didn't have personal, he was only talking about himself. But The Evils is an introspective record. He's talking about the casualties of coming up in business and on the streets, how friends become foes, how the block changes success. It was a deep record. It was a deep record.
Jay might talk about himself, but he's relatable in those ways. And when he gets conversational, his relatability is more of an inspirational type of way. You know what I'm saying? So where do you have Reasonable Doubt? Because I got it at number 1. I mean,
I got it.
Or do you not want to reveal yours yet?
I got it. It may be number 1, but it might be 1A. I'm gonna make an argument for The Blueprint. I'm with Mad Max, but I'm gonna wait.
He's the best producer on this album. I'm gonna put that in my notes too.
Ski is the best producer on the album. So let's score that for Ski. Ski was the best producer on Reasonable Doubt, without a doubt.
Followed by Premier, because The Evils is crazy. All right, so volume 2. I'm sorry, excuse me, I skipped. Volume 1.
You skipped. Let me get the volume 1.
No, volume 1. I misspoke. Volume 1.
Volume 1
has incredible highs and incredible lows. I have to think about where I put volume 1. I'm not a big fan of Sunshine. I'm not a big fan of Who You With like that, even though Who You With is not a bad song. But I'm a huge fan of Streets Is Watching. I'm a huge fan of Imaginary Player. I'm a huge fan of A Million and One. Oh my God, man.
How you missed that one, Mike?
Nah, man, that is A Million and One is crazy. Oh man, Rhyme No More. I actually like the A Million and One remix. The one where he's like 98 Primo remix, and ain't nothing different. I don't know what the hell niggas been sniffing. Jigga's still dipping. Chrome's on the whips. And 5 days out the week, find me in the kitchen. Still in the game, nigga, hook like glue. Poppy gave me 1 pie, but he cooked like 2. I'm a crook like you. Cats around my ways, my brand new whips and shit. What can I do? Crazy. But with that being said, there's still a lot of inconsistencies in that album. I don't really know where I'm placing volume 1 right now. But over time, I think volume 1 is kind of, I don't want to say grown on me, but I'm going to safely put it at number 8 right now.
It's got some records that you come to. Like you
definitely.
You got Where I'm From. You got The Streets Is Watching. You got A Million and One.
Is it better than volume 2 though?
I'm fighting with that because volume 2 don't have a Where I'm From on it.
Volume 2 didn't age well, but it's more consistent though. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's a lot of records on volume 1 that supersede all the records on volume 2. Volume 2's consistency.
Volume 2 don't got a million. Volume 2 don't got A Million and One.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Volume 2 doesn't have 1,000,001. It doesn't have Where I'm From. It doesn't have A Streets Is Watching, and
It
it
don't have
doesn't
an
have
imaginary
Imaginary
players. Volume 2 don't got an imaginary players on it.
It
Let's
doesn't.
be for real.
It doesn't.
Volume one
But-
is kind of slept on. Volume 1 was the record. Mike told his story about 4 or 5 shows ago. I was in what? Damn. That's the first Jay-Z record I bought. I bought it at Greenbrier Mall in Atlanta. I forgot, what was the record store in Greenbrier, Mike? I forgot the name of the damn record store.
What was that record store? Not Sam Goody or nothing like that.
It was by the shoe store, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though.
That was the first Jay-Z record that I took the plastic off. I bought it, and I think it's slept on, man. I think it's not as bad. It starts off great.
Well, let's go through it. Let's go through it.
It starts off with 1,000,001.
Boom. City Is Mine. What are your thoughts?
I didn't like that record. I ain't gonna lie. It had a big budget video. It sounded kind of, it was kind of corny. I mean, it's not a bad record, but it just doesn't, I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Teddy Riley produced it. Like, yeah.
Girls Like.
I know what Puff. Girls Like. Trash. Yeah. Imaginary Players. Great. Streets Is Watching.
Great.
Friend of Phone 98. Dope. Lucky Me.
It's okay.
Lucky Me is okay.
Stevie J did that record. And Buck Wild.
Shout out to Stevie J and Buck Wild. Sunshine. Okay, so where are we at right now? We got 1,000,001's great. City Is Mine's a no. So, all right, one great, one no. I Know What Girls Like. That's a no, right?
Imaginary Players a yes.
Imaginary Players a yes. So we 2-2. Streets Is Watching.
Yes.
That's a yes. It's 3-2. Friend of Foes a yes. That's 4-2. And Lucky Me, I don't say that's a no, I guess. I don't know. Always Sunshine, that's a no. So let's just say 4-3. Who You With?
Yes. That's a yes.
That's a yes. Face Off.
Well, Sauce Money, yes. Sauce Money got off on that.
Yeah. Real Niggas, Too Short.
Wasn't a fan of that record.
Yeah, Rap Game, Crack Game. That could go too.
Wasn't a fan of that record either.
Where I'm From. So now we're like 7-5 and You Must Love Me. What did you think about You Must Love Me?
At the time, I didn't like it. As I got older, it's okay.
Those are mid records, man. And I don't know if those are mid because the highs are so incredibly high on that album. But one thing that Jay's always done in his career, he's always been with the albums. Like I said, you could hear the ones where he was reaching for a hit, but he was always going to give you a level playing field. This is the most unbalanced album of his career. Like, if you got Kingdom Come, you're going to have a whole lot of just, I hate to say it, songs that just aren't good. But, and there's a couple good songs on Kingdom Come, and we'll get to that. But this one is probably the most erratic. And so, yeah, playing it safe right now, I'm going to put that shit at number 8 right now.
If you on the Source scale, let's score. I forgot what Source. The Source gave it 3.5 or 4.
They gave it 4. That's why when Volume 2 came out, and Volume 2 was supposed to be
got 4.5, right?
Comeback album. They put Volume 2 and Akumina in the same issue. And my theory is they were forced to give Outkast 5 mics on Akumina because they couldn't give Jay 4 again with Volume 2, and they couldn't sit there and give Akumina and Volume 2 the same 4.5 rating. They couldn't. It just ain't even close, really. So, yeah, they gave Volume 2 4.5. They gave this one 4. I think it's a 3.5 album. I'm sorry. If we're being critical about it.
If we're being critical,
and they gave Reasonable Doubt 4 mics.
It's 3.5 mic, but it's got songs that are some of his best. Streets Is Watching, 1,000,001, Where I'm From.
To me, I feel like you got to grade somebody more difficult if they've shown you that level of greatness on that album, and then they go out there and be inconsistent and make even worse mistakes. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to grade them harder at that point. If you just gave me Imaginary Play on this album and you give me I Know What Girls Like, I got to grade you more difficult because I see what you can do.
But it's funny, as mid as this album is at 3.5 mics, this was the record where I knew Jay was going to be a star. that's the one I said, this guy's it. He's going to be the number one in the game. I don't know how I saw it.
Was a problem lyrically. He was.
He was.
He was still trying to find his pocket.
You couldn't tell, but I think from the streets is watching, I think from where I'm from is where in a million, that's when I said this guy is going to be, just based on those three songs, and it may be Imaginary Player. I'm like, this guy is going to be the one.
Yeah. We got to get Leroy in here in a second.
Leroy going to come on volume 3.
Yeah. We'll get Leroy in on volume 3. All right. So volume 2. Off the top, man, like volume 2 is one of those albums that in the moment, I think there was a lot of backing behind it, a lot of push behind it, rightfully so. I mean, had Can I Get On It, had Money Ain't a Thing on it, even though that was on Jermaine's album, but it was still out there and it was still on this album as well. It had Hard Knock Life. Can't forget that. Big hit. It had Jigga What, Jigga Who on it. It had Money Cash Hoes on it. And if you're looking for album cuts, it had Reservoir Dogs on it. It had A Week Ago on it. Shit, I even like that record with Kid Capri. And if you had the box back in the day, It's All Right was in rotation too.
Yeah, I mean,
got a lot of heat on it.
Volume 2 is the second Jay-Z album I bought with my own money. Got a lot of heat on it, but did it hold up over time? I mean, it's got a lot of, the songs don't mesh. There are a whole bunch of different songs like Money Cash Hoes, Reservoir Dogs. It's not a cohesive album. It's a whole bunch of songs. Money Ain't a Thing, It's All Right. It's just a whole bunch of songs.
My knock on volume 2 is the features, honestly. And I think that when you look on the back of an album cover, and I remember we looked on the back of an album cover back in the day, it was like every song damn near had somebody on it. And that right there lets you know that, okay, I'm making stuff for the times and I need assistance when it comes to making these hits. You know what I mean?
Right, Mike. The album's like, I might get roasted for this. You know, them back in the day, we was in school, they had them hits albums, those compilation joints.
Yeah, those now shits.
The now joints, right? It sounds like it's a whole bunch of songs. It don't sound like an album. Mm-hmm. It sounds like he was trying to make a statement showing that he can make a whole bunch of different records with a whole bunch of different folks. It just doesn't sound like a cohesive album. It sounds like a compilation. It sounds like a soundtrack or something.
It does sound like a compilation, but if that was the goal, for him to show that, you know what, I can make records with people from the West Coast, down South, East Coast. I think that was the intent. And that was his total intention with that album. Just like I say about the Eminem thing, when I talk about Eminem in the direction that he took to sell records and to make the quirky stuff as opposed to the Backpack Underground stuff, he made the right decision, but at the same time, you can't have your cake and eat it too. We're going to judge you based on the route that you took. I think Jay-Z's route with this album was to show that, okay, I can, make records with this person, that person. I can make hits, whatever. But you also have to deal with the fact that 10, 15 years from now, these records aren't going to sound as fresh and innovative as they once did in 1998 because we've moved on from these sounds and it didn't set any precedents, really. And that's why I think that people were saying that Volume 2 didn't age well or didn't age as well as some of the stuff that's in his catalog. And Volume 1, like, ain't no 1,000,001 on there. It's not. I mean, it's not even close.
Not even close. But it made him a star, though.
It's great. For the time, it's great.
The album sole purpose wasn't to be an album, Mike. It was to make Jay-Z a star. He was on TRL. He was, the Hard Knock Life record was his first major hit.
Well, let's try to take all of that stuff out of it. And let's look at just the music in itself. The music in itself. Is this a top 5 Jay-Z album? Just based on the music?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not a top 5 Jay-Z album. Not at all.
I used to have Volume 2 at number 4. I kind of put it in this number 4 spot, but it's probably going to get bumped out.
It's going to get bumped out because you can't make an argument to me, and I know you have been disagreeing about this for about 6 or 7 years. I think 444 is a better album than Volume 2.
I don't. How?
I just do.
It ain't got the songs. Okay.
We're going to talk about it when we get there, but it goes back to Super Duper's point. 444 was a record that he's talking outside of himself. He's talking about legacy. He's talking about his wife. He's talking about his children. He's talking about some other things other than his wealth and his dominance of the rap game. It's a more personal album. And
Let
to
us
me,
know what y'all think out there too. Don't be afraid to super chat. It's all good. I know we're having a discussion, but y'all can intervene as well.
It's a different album, man. It's a more cohesive album than Volume 2. Volume 2 is a compilation. I can't even say it's an album, so it's got to be outside the top 5. Got to be.
It's still his album. All right, we got Handed Down as the intro, and I like that he did that, but that's not him on the mic. I got whatever. Then you got Hard Knock Life. Then you got If I Should Die featuring the Rangers. Then you got Ride or Die, another Stevie J production. Then Nigga What, Nigga Who, Money Cash Hoes, A Week Ago, Coming of Age, the sequel. You got Can I Get Her, Ja Rule in the Mill, Paper Chase, Foxy Brown featured on there, Reservoir Dogs featuring The Lox, Beanie Siegel, Sauce Money. It's Like That, Kid Capri. It's all right. And then Money Ain't a Thing closes it out.
And folks don't like 444, man. They think it's trash. I don't think that.
It's uneventful. He's uninspired lyrically on there. A lot of people, when Rigomatic with Super Chat says 444 was trash, what the fuck? I agree. I think 444 is, at least on this list, I'm probably going to have it number 12 or 11, something like that. All 7 with the Super Chat says 444 better than Volume 2. Let's not go that far. Yeah, it can't be better than Volume 2. It don't have the records for it.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. Is 444 an album? Will you consider an album? You consider it a compilation?
444 Volume 2.
I'm saying 444. Do you consider 444 an album, or do you consider it a compilation?
Why would it be a compilation? Ain't no features on there.
What I'm saying, the argument against Volume 2 is that it's a mishmash of song. 444 had a point. You may not like the point. You may think the album was mid. You might think the album was trash, but at least it had a cohesive theme. It was about his legacy. It's an album. It's not about a whole bunch of songs. It's not a soundtrack. So that's the difference.
Albums still have to have the music and the quality of music. And to me, 444's quality, memorability, if that's a word, or impact musically just ain't there, man. Like, you're not hearing those records. And I hate to go that argument because I know that's a tired argument in this era, but there aren't records that I go back to a 444. I think that Family Feud is a dope production and dope beat and a dope song. But that album as a whole, I just don't go back to it. And the fact that it's Jay-Z's last album, essentially, that should be all the more reason that we would go back to that album more than not. Like, if American Gangster was Jay-Z's last album, or even The Blueprint 3, I feel like I would go back to it way more than I do 444. I don't go back to 444 at all. Like, I didn't like his cadence like that. I liked his first verse on Marcy Me. But again, much of that to me, I blame on the production. I'm not a No ID fan production-wise. I think his production is bland and boring. It's just my opinion. And I think that his production made Jay-Z, who is the most non-bland and boring rapper ever, he made him boring. Mamir thoughts that 444 makes Jay-Z's top 3 worst albums. I agree. Top 3 worst Jay albums: Kingdom Come, Holy Grail, 444. No particular.
We're gonna go into 444, and I'll make my argument. While I don't think it's bad as you said. Now, we did listen to it in the studio about 6 months ago, Mike, and I did say, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad.
On the Patreon, it's not good. It's just not, man. I'm sitting there playing the records. I'm like, y'all like this? And I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I love Jay, but it just ain't up to the level of who he is lyrically. Now, if they want to talk about the way he approached the album and the fact that people appreciate that he was talking family stuff and family business and talking legacy stuff and all that, that's a whole different conversation.
It answers Super Duper's criticism of him not only talk.
No,
Only
it
rap.
doesn't. It actually leads into why Super Duper said what he said, because he's not great doing those things. The thing is, you have to be as great as Jay is when he makes stuff like Dead Presidents, The Eagles, You Don't Know, and Heart of the City. He's not that level of great when he has to do something that is in the vein of 444. Somebody like Kanye could be as great as he is on Through the Wire, as he is on Ham or something, or Jesus Walks, or Diamonds, or Gold Digger. The Gold Digger is a great example. As great as Kanye is on Gold Digger, he's the same level of great on Family Business. That's the versatility right there. Jay's not that.
Let's go to volume 3.
Volume 3.
Let's go to Life and Times of S. Carter.
That's one of his weaker albums.
You always kill the suspense as one of his weakest joints.
That's one of his weaker albums. But volume 3 is important because he's coming off of his biggest hit and the most success that he's had as an artist, and he has to follow it up. He follows it up with Big Pimpin'. And that was very necessary. I don't know where the J Buzz goes without records like Big Pimpin'. How many singles did he actually pull off of volume 3?
Let's pull it up, because he had the song with Rottweiler. What was that song? The single.
Do It Again.
Do It Again.
I love that record. I love that verse, man. Beanie Siegel murdered that shit, and Jay came in and murdered that shit too.
That was it.
The album.
That was it. They used to play
they said Anything was a single.
They used to play So Ghetto on the radio though, because that was a record.
Yeah, that was kind of a street hit, and that was the last time him and Premier actually collabed. It says, this is funny, man. When you look up Wikipedia, it says Do It Again, Things That You Do. I guess that's the Mariah Carey record, and they got Anything as a single, and then they say Big Pimpin' was the 4th single. Max with Super Chat says S. Carter is terrible. Yeah, that's one of the worst Jay-Z songs ever.
Is that when he had the Reebok deal? And that's when he did the mixtape, right?
He ended up calling them the S. Carters. That was years later. He did.
So that when he put the mixtape out. When did he put the mixtape out with Young Black and Gifted?
That was like 03. Yeah, that was between the Blueprint 2 and the Black Album.
Okay.
Yeah, so 50 was around at that time. But yeah, he started calling himself S. Carter. This is when the Hova talk came, because he had the intro Hova song and he had the outro Hova song. But volume 3 looks like this. Hova song, So Ghetto. Put Your Hands Up. Do It Again. Dope Man. Wasn't a big fan of Dope Man.
Go back, Mike. Go back. Let's start over. Let's say yes or no.
Hova song.
I say yeah. I like the intro was cool.
So Ghetto, of course.
Okay. Yes.
Do It Again, of course.
Yes.
Dope Man.
No.
Yeah, not for me. The Things That You Do, the Mariah Carey.
That's not good. That's not good, Mike.
Hot is Hot, fire. Snoopy track, fire.
He saying Snoopy track was tight, but I ain't playing Snoopy track in 2024, Mike.
I ain't played Snoopy track in a minute, but that shit was hard.
You ain't played Snoopy track in about 15, 16 years, Mike. Let's be for real.
I haven't, but Snoopy track is hard. If I play that shit
if it was hard, you would play it. It ain't hard like that, Mike. It's kind
of... You know what? Again, I've said...
Let's be for real, Mike.
Horse. You know who's the problem or why you don't listen to it now? It's the producer.
So it ain't like that then, Mike. If you say you don't listen to it, you ain't listen to the song. You on this podcast with these people. You on the podcast with these people. You were supposed to be the authority in hip hop, Mike. You started this podcast game that everybody's piggybacking off of.
Man, yeah.
And you are sitting here telling me that Snoopy track is fire, and it ain't fire.
It is.
That's not true, Mike, because you ain't played the record. We went to your phone. We went to your Spotify right now. You would see that you ain't played Snoopy track since damn near 2009, 8, 6.
I probably ain't played Snoopy track since 2022. Man.
You don't even think about Snoopy track, Mike. Mike, you don't even think about that's a track. When you say Jay-Z, you don't think about Snoopy track. It doesn't come across
your catalog though.
It doesn't come across anybody's mind in the chat, on this chat, the next chat, nobody thinks about Snoopy track, Mike.
So you ain't fucking with Snoopy track or Hot as Hot like that?
I ain't saying that. I mean, I ain't heard them joints in like 15, 16 years. I'm saying Jay-Z probably don't even think about Snoopy track, Mike. Nobody.
Super chat says Volume 3 is weak. I cringe when I hear most of those songs. The song Snoopy track, I cannot stand that beat. Oh my God.
That song, Mike, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna think that song is terrible, Mike.
What? You know, we ride.
That song is whack, Mike.
With that? All right. Okay.
So you want to retract that? You want to retract that? It's whack, Mike. Come on.
S. Carter is horrible.
S. Carter, you must try harder.
Competition is nah.
Let's get. Hey, go through this. Hey,
Pop for Rock, horrible. That might be the worst song on this album.
No, I think S. Carter is the worst song on the album.
The song with Mariah is pretty bad too. The things that you do.
Who did that? Swiss did that joint, right?
Swiss did that. And y'all motherfuckers, man, y'all done voted Swiss over Just Blaze in this tournament, man. This is crazy, man. It's sad. I'm on that later.
This might L, man. So let me ask you. You naming a lot of whack joints. You telling me this album better than 444? Let's be for real, man. Come on, man.
I still think it's better than 444. That's
444 ain't got no shit like this on it, Mike. It ain't got no Snoopy track.
A lot of bad records on it. Nah, I fuck with Snoopy track, but yeah, some of these records. Watch me.
Let me in here.
Hey, Leroy's in the building. He got his reasonable doubt joint on. Mike, finish the rundown. We're gonna let Leroy chime in after that.
Watch Me is number 10. Then Big Pimpin'. Damn, Big Pimpin' really saved this album. There's Been a Murder. Come and Get Me's dope. NYMP. And then Hova song. Yeah, this album's bad.
Crazy.
Big Pimpin' saved this album. Shout out to UGK. Shout out to Big Bun B and RIP to Pimp C, man. They saved Jay on Volume 3. And Siegel too.
Can y'all hear me out there?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's The Rock, okay? The Rock in the building.
Oh my God.
Jesus, man.
Memphis Bleak's in the building.
It's the So Ghetto Is Not Crazy, Primo.
Leroy. This album is trash, man.
You want me to go down? No, I'm gonna go down the line. I want you to say yes or no. No, let's do this, Leroy. I'm gonna go down the line. Hold on, chill. I'm gonna go down the line, and I want to hear yes or no from you.
Okay.
Hova song.
Yes.
So Ghetto.
Yes.
Do It Again.
Yes.
Dope Man.
Yes.
Things That You Do.
Mid.
Okay. Thank you for being
mid. Honest. That's it. That ain't no mid. That's low. That song is terrible, B.
Jay-Z is a superstar he's not Griselda. He is looked at as a superstar.
We're not asking that, Leroy. We're asking the things that you do that's low. That's terrible.
We keep going. It's Hot as Hot.
Okay, that's all right. It's all right.
Okay, Snoopy track.
It's all right.
S. Carter.
You know what? Since I can't even really remember that one off the top of my head.
No, it's bad.
I'm going to say.
You didn't want to remember it. That's what that is.
Yeah, but what y'all say is y'all saying bad songs make bad albums. Nope. People just listen to the good songs over and over.
What? Pop for Rock.
Yep.
You fuck with Pop for Rock?
Keep going. I'm gonna say the ones I mess with.
Come on, bro. You're gonna lose credibility with that one.
Okay. I can't lose credibility because when y'all talk about a song like Dope Man, because y'all don't understand the ramifications of where Jay-Z is.
No. I see what he tried to do on Dope Man. Dope Man's not a bad record. I ain't saying Dope Man's a bad record. I just don't like it. Dope Man's one of those that could go either way. I personally don't listen to it. I ain't gonna say it's trash, but these records are trash. Pop for Rock.
No. Yeah, you gotta understand the position Jay-Z is in, and people don't understand that.
I don't want to understand any of that. We press
some underground rapper. They think he's some underground rapper.
No, what Puffy say? Press play. We press play. What are we hearing? I don't care what he's to do.
They sold millions and millions.
Okay, and so did DMX.
Yeah.
Watch Me.
Yeah. Fire.
How that song go? You remember any of those verses?
Watch me. Put yourself in the shoes of true felons and tell me you won't ball every chance you get and any chance you hit. I take one building, I fill it with holes. I take one, like he was going crazy. Come on, man. This is over. This is the GOAT.
Man, I know he the GOAT. You might say he the GOAT, but this album is trash, Leroy. I'm sorry, bro.
Mall 7 with the super chat says, at the time, I remember being mad for wasting my money on Volume 3 CD because I could have bought some packs of sports cards. I feel you, dog.
Come and get me. Fire. With my MP. Fire.
Okay.
There's been a murder.
There's been a murder. Come
Fire.
and get me. NYMP.
Fire.
No.
Marcy. Fire.
So where do you have this album ranked in Jay-Z's catalog?
I mean, in all time, it's not one of his greatest. The man we're not counting collabs, so we count 13 albums. So in 13 albums, it ain't the top 5. And we all know where Jay is at. Where is Jay at when he's making this album? It's strictly about getting money. He already proved to you that he could rhyme. So that's not it. That's not even an issue. Soon as you heard So Ghetto, that's not even an issue. But the thing about Dope Man is that explains where he's at. He's being blamed for materialism in rap, even though Cash Money is already out, Puff is already out, Master P is already out. Jay is being blamed for that. And Jay is being blamed for Coke Rap, even though Coke Rap's already out. It been out. Jay is, you know, Dope Man is serious. Dope Man, he's being...
and not to interrupt you, but I think at this point in Jay's career, it's about making hits, right? And I think that this album literally has one hit on it. So even that is falling short. I think Do It Again was a street hit, and I love Do It Again. I think it's one of the highlights of this album. So Ghetto's a street hit, but as far as like a mainstream hit, you just went from having an album with Money Ain't a Thing, Can I Get a Jigga What, Jigga Who, Money Cash Hoes, Hard Knock Life. Those are 5 right there. And the only big one you got on Volume 3 is Big Pimpin'. I think that's falling short. He didn't even have like 3 hits on this album. So even if you're saying that this was about making hits, he fell short on that end too.
3 hits on one album in '99 is crazy, bro. 3 hits on one album.
He had 1 hit.
3 hits, one album.
One, Leroy. Big Pimpin'.
So what was the hit then? Because Do It Again was a hit. Big Pimpin' was a hit.
Not a hit. Jay-Z ain't never performing that record again. Come on,
man. Do It Again's not a hit. 6 in the
street hit. It's not a hit. It's not a hit. You're talking about him being a global star. It's not that kind of hit.
Hey guys, we're wasting a lot of time on a whack project, man. Let's go to the Dynasty, man. Let's go to the Dynasty, man.
I'm gonna tell you where I got Volume 3. I got Volume 3 at number 10.
Fire.
I got Volume 3 around number 10 or 11. That's where I got it.
Because the only ones that I'm putting below Volume 3 are 444, Holy Grail, and Kingdom Come.
I don't even count it.
Dynasty. The Dynasty's kind of a compilation too, but we'll count it just for.
It's a compilation. It's one of them now music joints. You got 1-900 Hustler.
Well, it was supposed to be a compilation, and then Jay just kind of changed that mid-stride, and they threw. Once again, man, really needed that Neptune record on there. He really need Give It To Me on there because without that record,
Neptunes or Jay-Z?
Huh?
Who was more popping, the Neptunes or Jay-Z? Jay-Z.
At the time.
And Jay-Z got a whole label. He got to move Beanie. He got to move Memphis. He got to move Emil. He got to move these artists. How are you gonna move them? He got to make the album.
He got to make a single, and he had to get the Neptunes who were hot at the time to make Give It To Me. Give it to. You're telling. Hold on.
Just talking.
Give It To Me. What does the Dynasty look like without Give It To Me?
What does it look like? It looks like Dynasty intro, theme song to The Sopranos, Benz in the Key of Life.
I love that record. And I got the Dynasty high. I got the Dynasty around 7 or so, but Dynasty got some dope album songs like You, Me, Him, and Her, Stick to the Script. But commercially, what does the Dynasty look like without Give It To Me, Leroy?
Without Give It To Me, Leroy. I mean, without Give It To Me.
It's a compilation album.
Jay-Z is dropping every year. So even if he misses, it don't matter. It just don't matter. He could miss, and he's still on fire because Big Pimpin' is running 24 every hour on the video stations. Big Pimpin' is running. So it don't matter. And then shout out Rick Rock, Bay Area. He got game.
A lot of work. Yeah. Didn't they do Change the Game too?
Yeah. Change the game. You know, come on. Soon you're
still in that Not Guilty joint with him and R. Kelly, but you know.
Not Guilty fire too. We were fans.
Like everything he made. Leroy,
Leroy, man, you tripping, bro.
Mal said with the super chat says Dynasty was mid too. No, he said Dynasty was mid too, but better than The Week Volume 3. I think that the Dynasty gave us that album records like you said, the intro, theme song to The Sopranos. We got This Can't Be Life on there. You got 1-900 Hustle on there. You got You, Me, Him, and Her on there. You got Stick to the Script, a personal favorite of mine. So that makes me, put Dynasty in a great light. But when it comes to like the hit record or whatever, Give It To Me kind of stands alone. And I don't know what that album looks like without Give It To Me. I think they were talking about making Parking Lot Pimpin' the first single.
They were saying that because if you remember the Source used to have ads in it. And one of the Source magazines I used to get one every month.
You had all of it.
Parking Lot Pimpin' was supposed to be the single. And it was supposed to be a compilation album. It wasn't a Jay-Z album. They switched it at the last minute. And I remember Kurt Loder is like, well, no, Jay-Z's solo album. I'm like, what? Because the Source, they ain't say that. You know what I'm saying? He switched it up and said it was going to be a solo joint. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really supposed to be a Jay-Z. It wasn't supposed to be a Jay-Z solo album. And you can tell.
I think Give It To Me changed that. I think when Give It To Me came out the way that it did, Def Jam and the people over there, Rockefeller, was like, nah, we're not wasting this song on no compilation. This is a Jay-Z album now. I think that's what happened. And really what Dynasty looks like to me, it's Jay still trying to find what sound he's going to run with because he's in the middle of Volume 3 and whatever else is next. Like you said, he got Rick Rock from the West Coast. You got Kanye over here doing work. You got Just Blaze in here doing work with Stick to the Script. You got Bink in here now too. You got the Neptunes. Like the sounds are all over the place. And I think the Dynasty is that album where he's trying to figure out what his next direction is going to be. He didn't go all in and say, you know what? This is my album at first. He waited until, it kind of got materialized and was like, okay, we'll make this a Jay-Z album.
3 things. First, shout out to Lupe and Sosa, TRP. A lot of Miss Pendulum and Sosa students, they in the same class. Shout out to Madarius, something in your game, right? I heard him spit today in Advanced Techniques. He was like, yo, I got 64 bars. He wanted me to hear it. Bruh, he inspired me, 22-year-old. But anyway, so that's one. Second, after you sell 5 million, it just don't matter no more. You hot. It don't matter what it don't matter what you do. No pun intended. Into you. They have bought into you, the person. So at that point, you out of here. Jay is out of here.
No, I'm with you, but that's 2 different arguments, though, Mike.
I disagree with that because the reason why Volume 2 sold 5 million and he never sold those level of records again is because of the Annie sample. That is the song that sold that album to that level. Not to mention the soundtrack stuff from Can I Get It and all the other stuff that was on soundtracks on there as well. If people bought into him to that level, he would have sold 5 or 6 million again, and he never did that again. The deciding factor or the anomaly here is the Annie sample. I think what happened was Jay sold to some people that would have never bought his records before and didn't buy his records after.
Okay, well, I think Can I Get Her is what made that album hot, and Hard Knock Life cleaned up after Can I Get Her, right? But if Jay is selling to them people, right? That's why his music is all over the place, because what are those people listening to? And not to make it sound bad, but those people are listening to rock music, country music, pop music, electronic music, all different kind of music. Jay knows that. So he's going to touch everything. Jay is crossing the country. He's in middle America where there's not a whole lot of us all the time. He's crossing every state line. He knows what he's doing. Now, one guy in the chat said, I won't admit Jay has a bad song. Of course, Jay has bad songs. You cannot be great without making bad songs. It's impossible. Because to be great, you're going to have to make 100+ songs. If you think you're making 100+ classic, no, you're not. Okay?
Well, he tried, to your point, he tried the Annie thing again with anything. And he saw that didn't do what Annie did. So he's like, got to move on to the next one. No pun intended. And he was trying to find the next thing that was going to hook people. And it was Big Pimpin'. And I mean, he went and enlisted the help of, you know what I think he did? And this is just my opinion. I think Money and the Thing is way more important in Jay's career than a lot of people let on, because he was able to collab with somebody in the South, and he was able to kind of cross market in that way. Because I remember when that record was out, he was down here in Atlanta heavy, and it was cool for him to do that because, you know, you got a song with Jermaine. Jermaine's big out here, or if he wasn't, he's from here. And I think that when he called on UGK for Big Pimpin', that was kind of Money Ain't a Thing part 2, as far as being able to, like you said, go state to state and show other people love and make a hit with it. And he did it.
Yeah, but again, people have to pay attention to the time period stuff comes out, right? And that's very important. Jay is coming off the death of Biggie and coming off Puff Daddy Mania. The vibe in the street is celebratory, even though, you know, Biggie died, right? Even though Biggie died, people are dancing, people are celebrating. The whole vibe is about celebration. So Jay's
want to get away from the violence.
Exactly. So Jay's music sounds like that because that's what the streets sound like. So now when you're listening to Griselda, you don't picture a celebratory time in your mind because you're not in 98 no more. But in that time, it's about having fun. It's about, you know, hey, it's summertime music. That's what's popping. And Jay went into that. You know, Cristal popping, all that. I love the dough, you know, all that stuff. So Money Ain't a Thing, popping, all that stuff. He has DMX to play off as the polar opposite of that. That's great. Perfect lineup.
Mike, let me ask you a question real quick. And Leroy too. Did the Dynasty age well? Did it age accordingly? Because I don't think it did. I don't think it did.
I listened to it not too long ago. I don't think it did. And I think one of the reasons why is because, and I'm not going to name any producers on it, but I think certain producers that were on there, the sound that Jay was trying to find that he thought may have been the next sound wasn't the next sound. And so that sound puts you in a specific year. You know what I'm saying? And it puts you in a specific era because, you know, that sound didn't carry over, or it didn't, as people say, age well.
But you got buying the music that ages well. You're not buying that. So Jay still wins, because if you're not buying it ages well, Jay still wins.
I get that, but again, you got to take what comes with it. Like I said, with the Eminem thing, Eminem went out there and made a "Hi, my name is," because he knew it was going to sell. That's great. But when we look back on it, not going to sit here and say the record was great because it sold. You got to deal with if you're going to make something timeless, or if you're going to make something for the time to sell records. If you sold those records, you sold those records, whatever. But don't be mad when people say it didn't age well. You made a choice.
We did. Let me, I don't want to cut y'all off because I think we are spending a lot of time on a record that's mid. It's time to get to the big boy.
I think that the Dynasty.
It's time to get to the one, Mike.
This is what I want to say about the Dynasty before we get off of it. I want to say that the Dynasty is a quality album, but I can't put it in the top 5, maybe 6 or 7, because it's a compilation and it's not Jay holding down the album himself. So I'm going to knock the Dynasty for that, because there are very few songs that he's on by himself. So it's very tough to compare it to the rest of his catalog.
And it's not a real Jay-Z album. It was supposed to be a compilation. They switched it because of the record. They switched it, and that's what it is. But let's get to the real. Let's get to the real one. Let's get to the real one.
The Blueprint.
The Blueprint.
Blueprint. Classic.
The Blueprint classic, but it has its flaws.
Brought back soul samples. Introduced Kanye. If y'all was into timeless music, y'all would have bought Little Brother, not the Blueprint. Bing bong.
Do you want to start off this Blueprint thing, Ron, or are you Leroy, or y'all want me to go?
Let me start off with the Blueprint, because I said Reasonable Doubt was Jay's best record, and I believe that. But this one was so close, so close that I might want to say it's 1B. I mean, the highs are so high on, like, you talking about in the club. Mike, you was in the club with me. We heard all these damn records in the club. We heard Heart in the City in the club. We heard Girls in the club. We heard all these Izzo.
You don't know, man. You don't
know. I mean,
everything.
I mean, but the lows are so low. Jigga, that's a whack record. I didn't like Renegade. I mean, those are the two lows for me, man. But I think if you
Ola Ovito,
you take those, Ola Ovito's trash. You take those records off, and you got a perfect Jay-Z album. I don't know, how it is. We didn't know at the time. There's label agreements with certain producers. You got to play songs on albums that are big at the time. But if you take those records off, though, I think it rivals Reasonable Doubt. I think Jay. I'm trying to describe the record. It's a soul record. It's like quintessential Jay-Z. I mean, I can't. If I was to give a person that never heard hip hop before one Jay-Z album, I'm giving them the Blueprint. And I know it's hard to describe because it has some whack songs on it, but that's my feeling on it, man.
I have a lot to say, but you want to start it off, Leroy?
Well, I'll try to be quick. I would put Blueprint probably 2 or 3 in his catalog, but again, at this time, now people are getting tired of the Swiss and Timberland sound before Blueprint comes out. So they're like getting back to soul samples. When Blueprint drops and people hear them soul samples, it takes them back into a time, and Jay captured that.
I think, y'all ready for me to go?
Go, cook up, Paul.
I think that the Blueprint is the brainchild of a younger, undiscovered Kanye West. And I think that Jay-Z still wanted to do the Jigga thing and still wanted to be able to make radio records and hits, right? But he liked what these soul records that were, coming about, these Heart of the Cities. He understood. And I believe that story where Kanye said the Dame came and was like, yo, man, Jay making classics to your shit. Like, I believe that when Jay was recording records like Heart of the City, not anything, but you know what I'm talking about, Never Change, and records like that. And I believe that the Girls 2 was probably the first one made, and they went back and made the other one on top of it because the sample's too perfect. I believe that he was the brainchild of that album. And Jay-Z stepped in and made records like Jigga That Nigga Jigga, because that's the stuff that sounded like it would have been a hit at the time. I remember the Unplugged that Jay did. He fit that song in the Unplugged. And I'm sitting here like, yo, he really likes this song. He knew that Jigga songs like that and what Trackmasters was making at that time was a safe way out. He didn't believe in records like You Don't Know. He didn't believe in records like Heart of the City to actually be hits in hip hop at that time. So
Mike.
It was his doing, putting Jigga That Nigga Jigga in there and Hola Ovito by Timberland on there and putting Renegade on there with Eminem, because he knew that Eminem selling all these records, I'll at least get Eminem's crowd if I put him on the album. So the records that didn't fit on that album sound to me, it sounds like it was Jay's doing because
or the label
he wanted to have some hits.
Or the label, Mike. It might be Def Jam's doing. It might not be Jay's.
I don't think it was Def Jam's doing, man. I don't. I think
that was gonna do. What can a hit do for Jay-Z? Nothing. In 2001, a hit means
sustains you is what it does. You got to keep doing it again. He's coming out every year for a reason.
Mike, let me ask you something. Mike, let me ask you something real quick before you cook, Leroy. Before you go, Leroy, let me ask Mike something real quick. You pride Jay-Z in being a smart man, right?
Yeah.
So you go in the studio and you hear these records. You hear Song Cry. You hear Never Change. You hear Takeover. You hear Girls, Girls, Girls. You hear Izzo, Heart of the City. You Don't Know. And then you hear Renegade and Holo Jovito, and you hear Jigga, 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 right? You know what I'm saying? He knows those records don't connect like them other records. That's some other politics going on for them records. He didn't hear them records be like, oh, this sounds good. He knew if you take them songs off the blueprint, you got a complete, masterful body of work. He's a smart guy. He's not a dummy. It's some kind of situation going on that we might not know about from a label perspective. What place those records on there?
I'm not going to play the whole, somebody made a call game or whatever. No, I mean, I think the way that Jay approached Jigga That Nigga Jigga lets you know he was trying to.
But the song's not that good, Mike.
No, you remember how he was rapping on the blueprint? He's on this song talking about something. Get on the track like that. He did that.
But he knows that sounds bad. He knows that sounds.
I pop Bob Marley, dude. He did that.
But he knows that sounds bad. He knows that don't sound like the joint he did with the net.
He don't know that.
You gonna put that on the label too? They told him to go out there and say gnarly, dude. I put Bob Marley, dude.
Why not?
So why he don't perform them songs then, Mike? If he thought the songs are good, why doesn't he perform?
He performed that record at the end of the Unplugged.
I'm talking about it's 2024.
He doesn't do it anymore because he knows it sucks now.
And he knew it sucked back then, Mike. He knew it sucked back then. He knew it sucks. This man
played that shit at the Unplugged. He did.
So you telling me everybody in the studio heard that record and heard him rapping the whack lyrics you just recited, and he was like, everybody in the studio was like, man, that was a go. That's what's up right there.
I think Jay.
What's whack about it? He said Marley, dude. Smoke, Bob Marley, dude.
Yes, serious, are you, Leroy?
Well, it's comical, right? But it sounds like some comical, little funny stuff. But am I going to be super serious every minute of every day? No.
That song is whack.
Comical rapper, man. Jay can't come across.
He made this record in like 2 weeks, and that's the record you want to make. The record that comes effortlessly. There's the record you want to make.
He needed to put more effort into it because that song is terrible. That's what it is, man.
That's the record you make. The one that took you 3 minutes, because that means you're not doing a bunch of contemplating and a bunch of thinking. You go in there and doing what you got to do. Get out the booth. Let it.
Donnie Draco. That song was whack in 2001, 2002, and in 2024. That song is terrible, man.
Leroy, y'all know you want to say all that about the song? Is it the worst record on the album?
You're talking about Hola Ovito?
No, Jigga That Nigga Jigga.
We could go there. I'll give you that. We could go there.
But you say that's the record you make. What do you mean? It's the worst song on the album.
It's the record you make is because when you get into a conversational flow, right? We are big fans of the conversational flow. Some people will get bored in the middle of the album with that flow. So they need a change up of some kind of change. So that little syllable change, it creates a ripple. And so they can nod different. And sometimes you need that.
My biggest problem with the blueprint in that way, and I know people are going to think I'm nitpicking, but this is huge to me, man, is the fact that record that we're talking about is between Girls, 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 and You Don't Know. Whose idea was it to say, let's play this Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga, and then come with one of the greatest songs that this man ever made? Like the overpowering production alone on You Don't Know, it makes Jigga That Nigga Jigga look crazy.
You just made my point, Mike. That's exactly what I said 10 minutes ago. It doesn't make any sense.
It shouldn't even be on the album. But no, this is my point, though, Ryan. I think that Jay didn't believe in these records' ability to be singles. The Streets made You Don't Know a single. The Streets made PSA a single. He didn't believe in that, so all he knew was, you know what? Trackmasters comes with this sound. This is what's hot on the radio right now. I got to make a record like this to get radio play.
Everybody in the chat, if you were in the Def Jam building and Jay is walking in the building making hundreds of millions of dollars, you mean to tell me if he makes a song that you don't like, you're going to tell him to his face, oh, that's whack? No.
Now that part I agree with, Leroy, Because
I'm not
talking about why ain't nobody tell him it was whack. Nobody was gonna tell him it was whack.
I would.
Himself,
I would.
What am I gonna say? I'm just on the train. You know what I'm saying?
I would. I would. If I'm Dame Dash, I'm Biggs. If I'm a young Kanye West, I'm telling him that record is whack. You don't need to mess up your.
That if you're a young Kanye West, you're trying to make it to the next level.
I mean, you could tell it's whack.
If I'm Dame, I'm telling him it's whack. I said it's a whack record.
Dame probably did.
He'll be like, "Hey, I got to do what I got to do because you niggas don't sell records. I do. That's the difference,
man." But it would have sold. The record would have sold more records if that record wasn't on it, though. That's my point. It would have sold more records if it would be highly. If we were talking about Blueprint as number one, if that record wasn't on the Blueprint, it's just the fact of the matter, man.
Strong. I can even look past Renegade, even though I'm not a big fan of Renegade and I don't think it fits on the album. At least it was a moment when people talk about Renegade. They talk about Eminem being on there and performing the way that he did. I could look past it if Renegade was on there, but Ola Ovito is hard to look past. I mean, not Ola Ovito.
The song with Eminem
is hard to look past. Ola Ovito is actually not a bad song, in my opinion. It's just on the wrong album. Because he's rapping well on there.
With Renegade. Y'all mean to tell me y'all wouldn't do a song with Eminem? You're crazy. Because I would. Okay, especially in 2000.
Well, again, I agree with that, but you also gotta take what comes with that.
That's fine.
Like with the pop records. She sold a lot of records with that.
If you tell me it's whack, right?
I understand your shit's not gonna line up with Kim's shit like that. It's just not.
I mean, I'll make a song with M, but I'm gonna make a good song. I mean, the Renegade, I didn't like the beat. He should have got
it. The truth is, Ron, Eminem can't rap over good songs. He can only rap over certain beats. He can't rap over the Just Blaze and Kanye West soulful samples. He can't. And Jay knew that. He's like, look, let's make this man feel comfortable. Let's let him produce his own joint. Oh, he got a song with Royce that already exists. Let me just jump on there in Royce's place.
Man, we gotta move. We gotta move because we getting long. We gotta go to the Blueprint 2, guys. I mean,
let's get to the super chat real quick. Mad Max says, Mike, the Blueprint was Bink's brainchild. Ye was copying Bink. Haven't heard Bink say that, but okay.
We gonna get Bink. We got an interview kind of lined up with Bink coming soon, but we'll talk to Bink about that.
Mall 7 with the super chat says, Ola Ovito is an annoying record. Yeah, the hook's not. It is kind of annoying, but he's rhyming well. And he's not rhyming like dun 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 dun. Rigomatic says Jay bodied Renegade. He still got cooked. It was fire. Renegade's a moment, so I'll give him a pass for getting Renegade on there. But I got the Blueprint as number 2, to be honest. Blueprint 2.
Blueprint 2.
Folks. Jay-Z came in the game because he wanted to make $1 billion. I know that y'all don't really rock with money like that, but he can't just. I know y'all don't want to make no money. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's cool. That's cool. He wanted to make $1 billion. We just talking about the songs are good though. I mean, that's cool and all, but if the song is whack, the song is whack.
If somebody said, "Hey, I got a better record than you," Jay would say, "Great, put it out." Like, I don't think Jay's gonna say, "Okay, don't do better than me." But the fact,
all that being said, though, you can't be mad at people criticizing the record, though.
No, he's cool. I mean, he got to be cool with that. But he's gonna make a record every year, so you can't like everyone. It's impossible.
The Blueprint 2 is interesting. I think he stepped it all the way up rhyming wise. I think this shouldn't have been a double disc. I think that this album has a lot of pitfalls to it. It has a lot of pitfalls, but it has some really great highlights. And I think just like Volume 1, that makes it very frustrating. It's similar to the Volume 1 discussion, with the exception of the fact we don't have an imaginary player and we don't have a Streets is Watching on it per se. But I do think Excuse Me Miss is a very important song and music video for the time. I think that's the record that made people put the throwbacks away and start buttoning things up, because the music video changed everything, in my personal opinion.
I don't know, man. People are saying, go ahead, Ron, because people are saying it's all about the money. But if y'all don't want to make money, he could just give his records out for free. But he can't do that.
That's a whole different discussion.
That's different discussion. We talk about if the music was whack or not. But I mean, 03 Bonnie and Clyde, Kanye did that one, right?
Man, they put his name on it. I don't really see what he did. I mean, because it sounds just like Me and My Girlfriend, but whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the. I mean, the ladies liked the record, but I don't think it was. They did. I mean, they played it heavy down here in Atlanta.
I'll say this, man: a double disc having 2 singles doesn't sound too successful to me.
But it's got some records on it though, Mike. It's got Somehow, Some Way. It's got You Don't Know Part 2. I like the with MOP on it.
Hovey Baby, the Watcher 2. Come on now.
I love Hovey Baby.
All Around the World.
Critics might not admit it, but nobody in rap did it quite like I did it. You did it. I done it before. You get it. I had it. Got mad at it and don't want it no more. That goes from everything from flipping that raw, flipping horse, flipping vocal cords. Don't get it twisted. Get it right. Did it different. Did it better. Did it nice. Did the impossible. Then did it twice. Get it right. Yeah, I like Hovey Baby.
Somehow, Some Way. My man on the super chat said it's the best song on the album. That's super duper. That's Jay digging into his retrospective pocket, introspective pocket.
Benny Siegel and Scarface.
I mean, he had to, man.
Because those guys do it the best.
I mean, the reality is people are saying they don't like these records. I get it. But I'm betting you bought it, though. If you telling me you didn't buy it, you lying. You think I don't know y'all lying? You bought it.
Mal 7 with the super chat says Blueprint 2 was trash. That's why he put out the Blueprint 2.1 after it. Ron and I were just talking about that yesterday because he was like, should we include the 2.1? And I was like, no, that's like a deluxe because you messed up on the first one in the sequence.
Where did the samples come from on this album?
Says, Somehow, Some Way is the best song on the album. Best song on the album to me, I don't know, man. I might Somehow, Some Way is strong. I don't want to count the You Don't Know remix. That's kind of cheating. But I'm going to say I'll show you how to do this. Love that.
That's fire.
That song crazy. Conversational Jay. Damn, you gave him that.
And let's go one by one real quick. And let's say yes, yeah, and nay.
Okay. You got the track list up or you want me to get it?
I got A Dream. Hold on, you pull the track list up. A Dream is the number one. Me, I said, I don't know. No.
I'm seeing crazy.
Hovey Baby.
I love Hovey Baby.
The Watcher 2.
Fire.
03 Bonnie and
He cooked Rakim.
03 Bonnie and Clyde.
Fire.
Nah.
I'm gonna give it a yes.
Let's go back to The Watcher 2. I'm not a big fan of The Watcher 2. That's just gonna say it, man. And probably because The Watcher 1 is so great, and it sounded like a concerted effort on Jay's part to try to out-rap Rakim. It just didn't sound natural. I don't even remember Dr. Dre's verse.
You gonna let Rakim body you? Why?
I'm not saying that, but you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Rakim just sent in his verse. Jay went out there and heard his verse, studied his verse, and went out there and tried to write a 24-bar verse. Jay never wrote a 24-bar verse. He was trying very hard on the record.
As he should.
All right, the next record is Excuse Me, Miss. I'm gonna say yes.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
Great record. I loved it when I first heard it.
What They Gonna Do featuring Sean Paul with Timbaland.
Tidbit, though. When it came out, I did think, I was like, yo, this Luther Vandross song just came out like a year or two ago. That was the first time I had seen something be sampled so quick. I'll say that, but I did like it.
It was a good record. The next joint was What They Gonna Do with Sean Paul, produced by Timbaland.
That might be Jay-Z's worst song. That's in the running for Jay-Z's worst song ever.
I'm gonna say Venus and Mars.
The Hollywood joint that's on Kingdom Come, that's just trash.
Guys,
I think that might be his worst song.
Yeah.
And the award goes to Jay-Z's worst song produced by Timbaland.
It went up in the club.
If I had to pick Jay-Z's worst song, I think that's it. If there was a gun to my head, say, Mike, what's Jay-Z's worst song? Say the song with Sean Paul.
All Around the World, No ID.
Great record. I love All Around the World. Top 3 on the album.
Poppin' Tags, Killer Mike, Big Boy.
Wasn't a big fan of Poppin' Tags, but it's important.
F All Night, Neptunes.
I love that record. That record's fire. That nigga snapping on there.
The Bounce.
Women. Bounce. First time I heard Kanye West rap, I'm still gonna say no.
You gonna say no? The bounce was okay.
It's
That's
okay.
mid.
The bounce. Nah.
I heard it. We heard that knocking though in the clubs though. We heard that knocking in the club.
You're not gonna shit on Snoopy track and promote the bounce. I'm sorry. I'm not letting.
I never heard Snoopy. I never heard Snoopy track in the club though, Mike. You didn't either. You didn't either, Mike. I heard the bounce in the club.
I don't care what a DJ.
I never heard Snoopy track on the radio. I heard Mike. You and I have been in the same places. You heard the bounce on DJs mixing the bounce. You heard the bounce in clubs in Atlanta, in New York.
There were promo singles.
You never heard. You ain't never been in no club and the DJ play Snoopy track. Let's just be for real. I'm just gonna be honest.
I don't care if I play those songs side by side. They're not even on the same level. So no, I'm not gonna let you shit on Snoopy track and promote the bounce. So it's a no for the bounce for me. What's that? My mirror thought says Leroy had been punching the air the entire podcast. LOL.
The last song on this one is I Did It My Way.
I like it.
Fire. That explains his records. Listen to that Did It My Way, and you get the whole album process. Not only did this album come from his record collection, the samples came from his parents' record collection. So the songs you hear on the album are the songs he remembers hearing in his parents' parties. He remixed those. So there's a method to the madness, but I Did It My Way explains his method, business-wise.
Mall 7 with the super chat says, show you how goes dumb. Fire song. Yeah, it is. That's Jay-Z right there. That's conversational Jay, man. Damn, you fading him, ho. How you gave him that? Automata came with the alligator strap. Sick of you niggas with your now or later raps. Rap about it now. Hope you get it later. A couple shows. Hope you niggas is saving up. Oh, that's my favorite part. It's like this particular might be the one of one. That means nothing but before it, nothing but come. Homie that's rapping be the only one that has it.
I don't want to floss, but I kind of do that a little bit sometimes. Go ahead.
Mad Max with the super chat says, Rakim Smoke J, don't lie. I've seen enough ish to leave your frame of mind broken. I'm still alive and I'm scoping. Be another 100 years until my sky's closing. And I'm gonna die with my eyes open. The Watcher. Yeah, Rakim.
That was hard. That was hard.
Jay cooked that.
He cooked. Let's get to this too. The Curse.
Okay.
Diamonds is Forever.
Yeah, cool.
Guns N' Roses with Lenny Kravitz.
I don't even know what Guns N' Roses is about, but it's fire.
Heavy D produced that. Rest in peace, Heavy, but I wasn't feeling that right.
The You Don't Know remix, MOP.
Crazy.
Fire.
Meet the Parents.
Fire.
I'm not as big on Meet the Parents as everybody.
Under the surface of Meet the Parents is the deepest epic ever written in human history. Now, I know people are gonna be like, "What is he talking about?"
Leroy.
So the curse is like a Just Blaze produced album because he's got there damn near like 6 or 7 songs on this joint.
Yep, I can back it up, but
somehow, some way, it's great. One of Jay's best songs.
Great.
Some people hate Kanye West.
I love Some People Hate.
Oh, I love that.
It's very cinematic.
That beat.
All 7 says Meet the Parents was NyQuil. Put me to sleep.
All right, we got some people hate it. Yes, Blueprint.
Okay.
Blueprint 2 is fire.
Blueprint 2, fire. Kill Ether. Murdered Ether.
Ninja, please with Young Chris.
You know what? That song's not great, but I personally like it. My nigga, please. You ain't selling no chance like these. I like the record, but it's not that good.
Too Many Hoes.
Neptune bias on Blueprint too, clearly.
Too Many Hoes, Timbaland.
Oh, one of Jay-Z's worst songs once again.
We got a recurring theme here, Mike. That the song Snoopy track, these songs, Timbaland's making some whack songs.
Timbaland's hip-hop production bag is not like that. And I see people doing the voting on the tournament. Timbaland just blew Lil Jon out the water, which I think he should beat Lil Jon. But if we're talking about hip-hop producer, it's a lot closer than you might think, because Timbaland's hip-hop bag is not like that outside of Missy and Jay. It just ain't.
All right, let's go through it real quick. That's all one. Featuring Memphis Bleak, Beanie Siegel,
I hate
Young
that
Chris,
record too.
No.
PD Crack.
No.
A Ballad for a Fallen Soldier.
Not a big fan of that either. Not the Neptune record.
And we got some bonus tracks. Show You How.
Great.
By Just Blaze.
Great record.
Bees and Sisters. Just Blaze. Great record.
Great record.
And what they gonna do part 2?
Oh my God. Why did he do a part 2 to his worst song ever? See, that's the stuff I'm talking about. And that's exactly why I'm saying the Jigga That Nigga Jigga was his brainchild. Why would you do a part 2 to your worst song ever?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. He was trying. You know what? If this ain't a hit, let me remix the Sean Paul record and try to make a hit again. No, it's not good. Mad Max to the Super Chat says, the little homie jungle is a garden to me. Yes, one of the best lines in their whole back and forth.
Flamed ether. Flamed ether. Nas, get your brother. Get your brother. I'll flame him too.
All right, so where are we putting volume 2?
I got volume 2 at around 5. Blueprint 2 is lower than that, but it's above.
I'm sorry, Blueprint 2.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Volume 1's got to be over Blueprint 2. I just got to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
It's got to be.
Course.
Yeah. Volume Super Chat says, Meet the Parents isn't even a top 30 story record. OG Weston says, Jay might be mid. Actually, we're going through this catalog and it's
OJ, my dude. I ain't gonna say that right now. I'm gonna leave my assessment to the end, but great minds think alike.
My mere thoughts with the Super Chat says, please keep Timbaland and Swiss away from our big 3. When they flop, all caps. I agree. On Meet the Parents, man. All right, if I got volume 3 at 10, I'm gonna throw Blueprint 2 at 8 right now. Is the Dynasty better than Blueprint 2?
No, not even close.
Okay. Mall 7 with the Super Chat says, I'm a Mike. Jay needs to be called out more for these whack songs. All right, well, let's go to the Black Album.
Called out for whack songs.
The Black, Mike, you want to start first with the Black Album?
The Black Album's phenomenal, man. I think the Black Album actually could be argued in his top 3, number 1, 2, or 3, personally. But let me see. Let me go to it. Why is this doing this? Hold on.
So I got you, Mike. So you got the December 4th starts it off. The interlude starts it off. Just Blaze.
I didn't love the fact that he did an interlude, but it's his last album supposedly, so I get that at the time. So the interlude's there in December 4th.
December 4th.
I love
great.
Starting it off with December 4th. I think that's a great start off. What more can I say? I think that's a great follow-up to that. It's fire.
Encore.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of the song, but it's a really dope record. It is what it is.
On me,
Clothes. I personally love Change Clothes.
Didn't age well, Mike. It's another record, Mike. I would wager that you haven't played Change Clothes in 15 years.
He's snapping on there, man.
We go to your house. We go to your house for a party. You ain't playing Change Clothes. It's not in your mix, but
you know what? You're probably right in the fact that I wouldn't play it because I know it gets mixed reviews from people. But I love Change Clothes.
Does he even perform? If you look at his track list and his set list over the last 10 years, it shows. Does he even play that record?
Which one?
Rebuke the Movement.
Change Clothes. He don't play that record. He don't perform. He don't
up like a U-Haul truck. You heard Hobie new shit. He and Pharrell make beautiful music. He is to the East Coast. Snoop is to the West Coast. From Faces to Houston. Young Hov in the house is so necessary. No bra with that blouse is so unnecessary. Why are you fronting on me? Is that necessary? Do I to you look like a lame who don't understand a bra with a mean shoe game? Who's up on ... and Barrel Wang? Mom, are you insane? I don't know, man. What you want me to do? This is a single.
That was cool. That was cool.
Piggy bag there. And I ain't talking about Wendy's, man. Like he's rapping at a high level on a single.
Mike, I feel you, and you are MC. You was in your pocket on that, reciting those lyrics, but you still don't play that record. You still don't play it, regardless of what.
Change clothes is fire. I'm not gonna say change clothes is something that should be skipped. I'm gonna put it that way.
People literally
saying the same thing. Like, no, that's not a skippable.
People literally took off throwbacks and put on button ups. Now back to
the video and everything. It's so fall, man. It's a fashion show. You know
I'm the only one keeping it honest on this pod tonight, man. That record ain't like that. It was cool. I ain't heard that record in about 15, 16 years. Ain't nobody. I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Dirt Off Your Shoulders.
Fire.
Yeah, fire.
The flow.
Yeah, the boy back in the building, boy back on the mat. Me and my favorite part of that is when he was like a running back. Get it, man. I'm straight off the block. I can run it back, nigga, because I'm straight with the rock.
Hold on. What?
Whoa. Huh? No, what you saying?
Hold on, Mike. We're going to get to Dirt Off Your Shoulder. Had Obama brushing the dirt off his shoulder. But everybody in the chat, meet the parents. What is the woman's name? What is the mom's name? Now, figure out what her name is and then figure out the story under the story. He's telling two stories at once. Boom. Now, Dirt Off Your Shoulder, right? Fire, the flow, man. The flow. You know, I could do the flow, but Mike, he be knowing that's why Mike deep down, he think Jay the GOAT too. But no, it's the flow. The flow.
How you the GOAT and you don't play the songs in 15 years? I don't understand it. That's just me, man.
Why would you?
With the super chat says PSA is the best record on the album. 8 a.m. exposure. Shout out to my man LT out there. He said, God bless. I want to get on and speak on Jay album. We 2 hours in. We got to wrap the show up in a second, but
no, we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish it. Let's finish it. Let's finish this joint. So
moment of clarity.
So Threat was a hot joint.
Threat's fire. He's rapping crazy on there. Moment of clarity. Now, for me, this is the moment that the album drops off. Eminem produced it. It's clearly the weakest beat on the album.
I've only heard one person in life.
Even with the weak beat, Jay was able to, give us an introspective record and speak about some things that he normally doesn't speak about. And he has those iconic lines where he's talking about the common sense and the Talib thing. Those things lived forever. So it's not even on a low point. This ain't a skippable record. This is an important record, even though I'm not a big fan of it.
He looking at problems, Rick Rubin.
He looking at his father in the casket.
If we look at it, though, to be perfectly honest, it looks like song for song, the Black Album could be the strongest album in his catalog because none of these songs are really skippable records.
I was gonna make the argument toward the end, Mike. You kind of stole my thunder. The Black Album's up. This in the top 3. You got
top 3 easy. Yeah.
Justify My Thug, DJ Quick. I wasn't a big fan of the record, but it's good.
Oh, you skipped public service announcement.
Oh, I skipped PSA, but we already know that's a yes. We ain't got to debate that.
That's an incredible record. Possibly the best song on the album. It might have the longest legs of anything on the album too. Justify My Thug. I know a lot of people don't like Justify My Thug, but I actually like it, man. And I'm not giving some quick bias. I like the fact that he came in on some Rockefeller y'all type shit, and it suffers from how good the rest of these songs are. If this were on one of these other albums that we were talking about in Jay's catalog, it might be close to a highlight. But I think this song suffers because the rest of this album is just so strong. 007 with the super chat says, minus the stand, this deep dive analysis is cringeworthy for Jay. The quality simply isn't there. Please skip Kingdom Come. His catalog ain't like that. 007.
You bought the records.
Real.
You bought them. What are we talking about?
Ball 7 with the super chat says, Justify My Thug was junk. Okay.
Lucifer.
Well, shit.
That's
boy,
right.
I already know what that is.
Allure.
Allure. That's hard.
My first song.
Hard. I don't know, man.
I got it. Is it better than Blueprint?
I got Black Album at number 3, But if we're being honest here and we're just looking at it on paper, it doesn't have the skippable moments that the Blueprint has. There could be an argument for the Black Album to be over the Blueprint. And there could also be an argument from some, not me, but some, to say that the Black Album's better than Reasonable Doubt too. I don't agree with that, but the Black Album Blueprint argument is really strong because the Black Album doesn't have any skip moments.
I'm an American Gangster guy, really, but I'm gonna go Blueprint over Black Album.
Okay, me too. I mean, it's my top 3. I got Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, Black Album, but just going through the Black Album like this, man, really made me think about switching those, though.
The Black Album is tough. I mean, the Black Album.
Did the Black Album age better than the Blueprint?
No, I like the Blueprint.
I mean, if you do a reissue of the Blueprint and you take Renegade off, you take Hola Jovito off, you take Jigga Jigga off, then I would say no. I mean, I would enjoy the Blueprint better than the Black Album, but the songs on there, I listen to the Black Album more than I listen to the Blueprint, and that's just, if you were to check my Spotify log,
bruh,
I play.
When we get to Kingdom and Magna Carta, y'all are gonna slaughter those albums, and I get
Let's go through, man. We've been cooking for a minute. We cooking. Let's get to Kingdom Come. That's a very controversial album. Let's go to Kingdom Come.
Loved it.
We're only on Kingdom Come. We're like 2 hours in. All right. Kingdom
Prelude.
Come.
Prelude, fire.
Okay. We're gonna start from the top here. This is gonna get ugly for the Blueprint. I mean, not Blueprint, Kingdom Come. All right, so the Prelude. Like Prelude?
In my real life, God. Real ice, fire.
Oh my God.
You know that's fire.
I don't know, man. I ain't listening. Now we're gonna talk about a song I ain't listened to in forever. That's one. Now the song Kingdom Come. Whoo, that's fire. That's heat. Show me what you got.
Super fire to me.
You like Show Me What You Got, Ron? I like it.
I didn't. That was the Budweiser commercial, right? No, yeah. I wasn't feeling that one, man. That's one of his weakest first singles. No,
Just went crazy.
Lost Ones.
Lost One was a great record. I think that's his best Dr. Dre collaboration. Me.
007 with the super chat. He says, after Black Album, Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt, and the hits on Volume 2, where do you go? All right, so after that, we got Do You, featuring John Legend.
I'm not feeling that one.
No.
That's not it, Mike.
Okay. Do You? Oh yeah, Do You Want to Ride? Talking about Do You? Do You Want to Ride? 30-something. Wasn't a big fan of 30-something.
That's not it, Mike.
I made it. Ma made it. That was cool.
That's not it, Mike. That's not it.
Anything. That's in the running for one of Jay-Z's worst songs.
That's not it, Mike. No.
Yes. Anything featuring Usher, produced by Neptunes.
That's not it.
Hollywood.
That's not it, Mike.
Science and Neo featuring Beyonce. Hollywood is probably it's a top 3 worst Jay-Z song ever.
Beautiful.
That's not it. That's not it, Mike.
Beautiful.
Trouble.
That's not it, Mike.
Dig a Hole.
That's not it, Mike.
Minority Report.
That's not it, Mike.
Minority Report after Katrina?
Beach Chair.
It could be after Hurricane Hugo or whatever. Nope. Andrew, that song is terrible.
Bro, how do y'all not like Hollywood? Are y'all crazy?
What? Man, that song you like whack, that record?
Crazy?
No. You talking about that? Ooh, it's the night.
Hollywood's not fire.
No,
man. Yo, Leroy, man. You know you ain't playing that record, man. Let's be for real. Let's keep it a buck, man.
All 7 said home. All 7 said Beach Chair was very good. There's a compliment from all 7. He's been trashing all these songs.
I like Beach Chair. Beach Chair was okay. Now, Beach Chair was okay. I mean, I ain't gonna. It was okay.
Now, I'm looking at the bonus track here. It says 44 fours. Now, how the hell did that not make the album if that existed?
It's a freestyle. It's a freestyle.
It's sad, man. See, that's the thing I be talking about. All right. So, Kingdom Come, based on what I just heard, I gotta have to put it at number 12. 11 or 12. American Gangster's next.
Classic.
That's top 5 Jay-Z album of all time.
It's probably number 4 in my opinion.
We could go with that. I mean, that's a flawless victory.
I like Pray. I liked American Dreaming. Hello Brooklyn, I didn't like. No Hook is fire. The Rock Boys is my personal opinion. After his retirement, is one of his strongest singles ever. When you think about his hook work on there and everything, just a complete song. One of the strongest complete Jay-Z songs, top to bottom, from him ever, in my opinion. Sweet, it's fire.
Fire.
I know. I like that. I know.
The video, fire.
Party Life, fire. Ignorant Shit, fire.
Fire.
Say Hello, agree. Fire. Say Hello, fire. Success, I wasn't as big of a fan of Success as a lot of people were.
Reasonable Doubt 2. That's what this is.
Fallen, fire. Fallen is fire.
Blue Magic, I love Blue Magic. So yeah, I'm thinking that American Gangster, I'm gonna put American Gangster at 4 on my list. I might put Volume 1 after that, and then Volume 2. Yeah,
American Gangster is solid. American Gangster is one of the best. I think it's in the top 5 Jay-Z albums. Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. I got it number 4 right now. Blueprint 3.
Ridiculous fire. Like, what are y'all talking about?
No.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it. Well, speaking of what are we talking about, that's the first song. What we talking about?
That's a go. What we talking about is a go.
Thank you. I love that record.
That's a go.
DOA, fire. Run This Town, fire. Empire State of Mind. Listen, man, regardless of what people think about the record, it's what it is.
Biggest rap songs of all time.
It's one of Blueprint 3 is one of Jay-Z's strongest openings for songs, like for track. It's strong. It's like Black Album strong. It's strong.
If you're an artist and you want to clean up the entire game with one album, Blueprint 3 is how you do it. You make a Blueprint 3, you'll never have to rap again. You're out of here.
Because this is kind of where I'm at with the 5. Do y'all think Volume 1 is better than Blueprint 3, or you think Blueprint 3 is better than Volume 1?
I think Blueprint 3 is better than Volume 1, even though Blueprint 3 has some terrible records on it. We'll get to that as you go through.
They all have similar issues.
But Blueprint 3 starts off really strong, Mike. You go all the way. You just said it. You said you got Thank You. Right. What we talking about? DOA. DOA is a strong record. It was one of Jay-Z's best videos in DOA. You got Run This Town. You got Empire State of Mind. It starts off really, really strong. I don't think Volume 1 doesn't start off like that. You got a million. You got a million and one, but then it goes to City Is Mine and What Girls Like. It's not a very strong start.
Mall 7 with the super chat says American Gangster ranked number 3 after Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint. Ignorant Shit and Fallen are 2 of the best songs.
Fallen's crazy.
Got 007 in the building. He says, I stand corrected. American Gangster was cool, but I'm seeing a machine back successful rapper, and that's okay. Skills are there, but not the projects. Honestly.
What machine? Jay is the machine. He's a co-founder of Rockefeller. That means he is the machine.
My thoughts with the super chat said, if Reasonable Doubt was a movie, American Gangster would be the outcome of the Star's Criminal played by Jay-Z. Definitely. All right, so we got Empire State of Mind and we got Real As It Gets.
Not feeling that record.
It's okay. And that's featuring Jeezy. And y'all know I'm not a big Jeezy fan. That's a playable record, but it's not a memorable record. I get that. On to the next one.
It got played in the clubs. It was on the radio, but I'm not. It got burned, but I'm not a big fan of the record. He still performs that record, but I'm not a big on to the next one guy. That's just me.
You gotta keep that one, man. I mean, it's proven.
People want to clown Euro J, but Euro J is in Europe. The sound
of Star Is Born. I wasn't a big fan of Star Is Born. I felt like that was kind of sneak diss in the game, honestly. Not the rapper of the game, just all of the rappers.
No, you skip, Mike. You skip off that with Drake.
Oh, I skipped off that. I like off that. I always have.
Now, what could be the worst Jay-Z song in the history of Jay-Z songs? Venus versus Mars. That's some of Jay-Z's worst rhyming I ever heard, man. I don't even repeat it. Mike, you want to repeat it?
I don't even know those words. I was like,
Leroy, you know the lyrics to that joint, Leroy?
No, but I do remember some of the metaphors in there was crazy. Venus.
I wish we had time because we've been cooking for a minute. I wish Mike you would pull up those lyrics. Those lyrics are pretty bad.
We'll do that next show. Miles 7 with the super chat said Jay was rapping on that second verse of Already Home. Solid album.
Super duper.
Yeah, he was. But let's go back to this.
The super chat says, why we don't talk about Pusha and Maul ducking thank you? Huh?
Because they don't want that problem. They don't want that problem with Jay-Z. Super duper. Every rapper that has ever lived has made bad songs. So
but no, some rappers have never made a song as bad as Venus versus Mars. That's a very bad song.
That ever lived.
I wish I had the lyrics queued up. I was prepping for the show yesterday and I pulled up that song. I was like, I can't believe that song was that bad. I forgot how bad that joint was. That's a terrible record. And I think Timbaland did that joint. It was terrible.
Timbaland did a lot of bad J records. Already Home was fire. Hate, I wasn't a big fan of Hate, but I could see what they were trying to do. Reminder was bad. That's one of the
Who made that beat? Who made that beat?
Timbaland made that too. Reminder and Venus versus Mars makes me want to put Volume 1 ahead of this album. I mean,
Volume 1 has to be number 2 in his catalog because Volume 1 is the foundation to Jay's career. Without Volume 1, nothing else is moving. He stands on Volume 1.
We're talking about a lot of bad. I mean, there's a lot of bad records, man. And Timbaland is the common denominator. He should have stopped working with this dude, man. It's not good.
Oh, we hadn't even gotten to Holy Grail. You want to talk about bad Timbaland records? So Ambitious. Wasn't a big fan of it, but it's cool.
It's cool.
Young Forever.
I wasn't a big fan of that record.
Young Forever is crazy. Now, I'm not a big fan of Young Forever. What I know is how it works in Europe. And it's crazy. Y'all don't understand how these work. Y'all want to try to make Tana Talk 3 every time you step in the lab. That's not what Jay-Z is on.
Can we skip Magna Carta? Because that wasn't.
No, we can't.
Fire. Art versus Compass. Which y'all missed. Magna Carta gave Nipsey Hussle the business mind he used later. But y'all missed that. Y'all missed it.
I'm sure it wasn't just that, man.
So just real quick, because I know we got to speed through this. But for the rollout, it was very innovative. I mean, I remember the Samsung commercials, and he was putting it on people's phones. That was an ingenious rollout.
O'Malley said, "Fuck Europe."
But the album wasn't that good, yo. I mean, it had Tom Ford on it.
I never liked Holy Grail. Never liked that song.
Tom Ford.
No, Picasso Baby. No, let's go in order. Holy Grail, Picasso Baby.
Y'all don't know what the songs are about.
I want a Picasso.
Some people do not know what these songs are about, and I know you don't know because if you knew, it would be different.
Well, I mean, if I knew what the song was about, the song still is not that good, Leroy. I mean,
these songs follow one theme for the entire album. It's a concept album. Every song follows one theme. Y'all don't know that.
Tom Ford is that's probably the banger on the album. Timbaland did that too. Fuck With Me, You Know I Got is the best song on the album.
Yeah.
Oceans, Frank Ocean, whatever.
Oceans is
FUTW. Somewhere in America. No. Crown. Heaven.
Heaven was dope. Heaven was dope. Heaven was dope. Heaven was dope.
Part 2, On the Run.
No, sir.
Beach is Better.
No, sir.
That's an interlude.
BBC.
No, sir. No, sir.
I actually like that record. You know what I mean? Like whenever Nas is on the record, Jay steps it all the way up. Jay-Z Blue, La Familia.
No, sir.
Nickels and Dimes. I mean,
La Familia is crazy.
No, sir.
Brian G with the super chat says, this is not the GOAT catalog. Biggie greater than Jay-Z. Yeah, this is
not good.
A lot of forgettable moments on this album. And the fact that this and 444 are the last 2 sightings of Jay-Z we've ever gotten makes me feel like I don't I don't know if I want another Jay album. I hate to say that as a fan.
Well, let's go to 444. Let's go to 444 because we're gonna end it on 444.
Yeah.
I don't think it is as bad as you say it is, Mike. I really don't think it is as bad as you say it is. We're gonna get into it.
I don't know what people want from Jay that he hasn't already given you. That's why I'm confused. You know what I mean?
Kill Jay-Z.
Fire.
Not feeling that one. No.
Not really feeling it either.
Hey,
I'm gonna put this on the people. Y'all already know I don't like this album.
Okay, look.
Story of OJ
is a propaganda piece, but whatever.
It's not that good. I'm not liking for Story of OJ. It's mid. Smile. Not.
That's fire. The last verse killed it. Probably verse of the year that year.
He's not getting off to a good start. He's not getting to a good start.
This came out the same year as Damn, right?
Is Jay worried about Kendrick Lamar lyrically? Really? Okay.
Not man. Kendrick's performance on Damn lyrically trumps this, man. His verse on Phil, cut it out. 007 Super Chat, y'all got me questioning Jay's number 2 status now.
Y'all are crazy. Y'all bought the records. Look, kill.
That's his catchphrase. You bought the record.
Yeah, they're so bad, but you bought them. Kill Jay-Z, right? Everybody who's suffering with some type of problem in their life, which we all are, I want you to write some bars down, because when you write things down, you make it concrete. I want you to personify your problem as an ego and attack that problem. When you wake up tomorrow, tell me how you feel.
I've been critical of Kendrick Lamar's catalog, but Damn is a far better album than I have to be honest, man. I can't. I mean, it's not even a no. It's a no. I'll lose credibility if I said anything else. But Damn is a much better album than 444. Even though I don't think 444 is as bad as the people say, it's nowhere near Damn. Let's just get that out the way. But go ahead and go.
From Rap Roundtable in the building, he says, saying Blueprint 3 is greater than Volume 1 is ass backwards. Mike, what's up? We can have that debate, Jar. We can come on line and we can make that happen.
That's true.
Teddy Long in the house, Jar. Teddy Long in the house, Jar. All
right, so we got Smile. Caught their eyes.
Beautiful.
No, I'm not feeling that record, Mike. I'm not feeling. That's not it.
All right, 444. I like the song 444. I like Family Feud. I think those are the best 2 moments on the album. Bam.
Damian Marley.
Bam was cool. Bam was all right.
I didn't like Moonlight.
Marcy Me was cool.
Legacy
was one of the best records on the album.
Well, see, this is my thing. There's no real. I mean, these songs are cool, but there's no real highlight moment. Even on the bad Jay-Z albums, you got "Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It." Even on like a Volume 3, you got So Ghetto, you got Big Pimpin', you got Do It Again.
See,
like,
Mike,
I can't put this album up with Dynasty. Go ahead.
Mike, that's where we disagree. You don't like the record, but I like Legacy, man. I think Legacy is a standout record. No ID to the joint. I like it.
It's boring, man. My mere thoughts of the super chat says the only positive thing I have to say about 444 is it's better than Magna Carta, which is his worst album. I'm gonna have to agree with that. So I got Magna Carta last.
Y'all concentrate on what Jay does bad, not what he does good, and that's the problem.
Well, based on how we're going through everything chronologically, seems like he start nosediving. I mean, we acknowledge how excellent that the Black Album was, did we not?
444 is Godfather 3, right? It ain't Godfather 1 and it ain't Godfather 2, but Godfather 3 does its job. You don't have to think it's the better Godfather, but it did its job. And he's pending divorce, so he wanted it to sound like it was like a rough time. It's a pending divorce. It's a response to Lemonade. Come on now, where is the big hits are gonna go with that? Where? It's a concept album. Jay is not gonna make the same album twice. He ain't gonna do that unless it's Reasonable Doubt and American Gangster. And he gonna give you something different.
Mad Max to the super chat says, "No way you're saying that the Blueprint 3 is over Volume 1, Mike. Come on, son. Did I say that definitively? I'm not sure. I think that
we were discussing it.
Similar,
we were discussing it as we were walking through it. We kind of backpedaled and said, "Nah."
I think the Blueprint 3 has similar issues as Volume 1, just like Blueprint 2 has issues like Volume 1 does. But it's hard to trump those records like Streets is Watching, you know, 1,000,001, Imaginary Player. But I do believe if the Blueprint 3 went track for track with Volume 1, it could get interesting.
The Blueprint 3, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're a dude, if you're into hustle rap, coke rap, then you want to go Volume 1. If you're into stadium, blow the roof off the stadium music, you got to go Blueprint 3. So again, Jay-Z is not doing the same things twice. He's going in different directions. So these albums were never meant to compete with each other.
I'm just going to say this. Volume 1, what I have right now on my piece of paper, and I guess we'll come back and really analyze this episode and really come with a full comprehensive list. Okay. What I have right now is Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, The Black Album, American Gangster, Volume 1. That's what I got right now.
That's fire.
Mike 100 with the super chat says 444 is a response to Life is Good. Life is Good.
People. Life is Good. Nas did not go into his divorce that deeply. He went into what it's like to get over the divorce. That's what Life is Good is about. Are you guys listening to the music?
But he actually got divorced.
You're just talking. Are you just talking?
He actually got divorced.
He's talking about after the divorce. Life is good after the divorce. Jay's not talking about after my divorce, people.
Going through it in the moment.
He's talking about trying to not have the divorce. So you have celebratory and not celebratory. Those two albums go in completely opposite directions, people. Are you listening? Are you skimming through?
So Leroy, let's wrap it up. What's your top 5 J albums?
I'm gonna go Reasonable Doubt, Volume 1, Blueprint, American Gangster, Black Album, I guess. Okay.
I'm gonna go Reasonable Doubt, 1A, Blueprint, 1B, 2, Black Album, 3, American Gangster, 4.
Yeah, how many albums you gonna name, nigga?
Then I said 1A. Fucking can't count.
You're like 1A, 2A, 2B.
Shit. Oh, Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, Black Album, American Gangster, and shit. What's the fifth one, man? Shit, I don't know.
Man, I think it's an interesting debate, and if Jarv wants to debate me on anything, I want to see where Jarv stands when it comes to the Blueprint and the Black Album. There's we go between what album would be better between the Blueprint and the Black Album, because you can make an argument either way.
You cooked Jarv in the last debate y'all did. So Jarv don't want that smoke again. You cooked them. I'm gonna come up there and cook you too. And Jarv, when I come up there, Teddy Long, I'm gonna take off my glasses. I'm gonna shake your hand, dap you up. That's when I'm gonna take my glasses off, because you've been asking about my glasses. You want to see my eyes. When we come to New York, I'm gonna let Mike D roast you. Leroy might come too. He gonna roast you. Then I'm gonna clean you up. Nation of Domination, Degeneration X style. We gonna mop you up, man. That's what we gonna do.
All right. Well, on that note, like and subscribe, everybody. Hopefully, by the next episode, we'll have a response. A Kendrick Lamar response. I know Drake's been waiting for it, so hopefully by next episode we'll have that. And if we have to do an emergency episode, we'll do that as well. But hit like and subscribe. Had a great time today. Jay's catalog made me think, man. I don't know any number 2, man. We need another album, Jay. I know that.
Go.
We need another album. We can't, because you can't go out with Holy Grail 444. You can't go out like that, man.
Why not? He went out with the Carters and a written testimony.
Are we really gonna talk about the Carters?
Yeah, he went out with his wife. What are we talking about? Beyonce?
Come on. The Carters was fire.
We'll do a part 2. We'll do a part 2. We'll talk about his compilation albums, his special albums. We'll talk about the Unplugged. We'll talk about the Linkin Park joint. We'll talk about the Best of Both Worlds, Volume 2, Unfinished Business. We'll talk about the Carters. We talk about Watch the Throne, and we'll do that. We'll talk about that. Well, we're gonna get to that Nas decade breakdown. We're gonna talk about Nas.
The Nas was next. Yeah.
Top 10 songs of the 90s of Nas, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. We're gonna break that down. 40 records. We're gonna rank them. We're gonna do that, and then we got a special interview coming. Mike, tell them we got Pete Rock coming up. We got some other big names coming up. We're gonna do that debate.
I said Jay doesn't have a top 5. It stops at 4. And
that's why I was struggling.
And on that note, man, happy anniversary to Illmatic, 30 years Friday. Shout out to that. Thumbs up in the chat, of course, and like and subscribe. According to hip hop.
Still number 1, baby. Still number 1. All right, man. Peace.
Next time.
In the morning with a big grin on my face. Took off my do-rag so I can brush down the ice cold waves. Tap shorty next to me wearing that micro braid. She was choosing my temple face, so this morning is when she lays. Hey, they were on the strap even before we did all the facts. She's taking Decatur, but she lives in my lap. Rap. My nigga Rio had to put a drive on the map. We walking really slow because we got the South on our back. Yeah, my nigga flawless in the cranberry color lack. With that Fafila fit with the matching shoes and the A-town hat. Up if you wanna, you get put down on your back. Getting stumped out by like 8 Air Force Ones with the loosest strap. You ain't even in my race, acting like that you running rap. So, stay in your lane when you speaking up on your tracks. And check out the shades, and Dr. J's. Cause I'm cool as the ice cubes and my pink lemonade, okay?
Pink lemonade, matching socks. And I'm polo down with a bomb of rocks. And my pearl leg riding through the swats. Where them niggas stay cool because that 9 gets hot. Pink lemonade, matching